Every year, there's one team that just finds a way to become a storyline. Every single year. And somehow, it's always that one roster that is loaded with talent, and you believe that they can turn the corner at the right time. They just didn't do it during the regular season. And then they get hot, and then they find a way to build off of their success. And the stories that we all believed at the beginning of the year come true. Last year, it was Philadelphia. The year before that, it was Atlanta. Both teams struggled during the regular season. They had talent. They had guys. They had dudes. They had studs. They couldn't find a way to put it all together. And then comes the postseason, and look at what happens. They get a momentum. They get a surge. They get a spark. And lo and behold, there they are playing in the Fall Classic. So who is this year's team that I'm watching for? It's in the American League. I'm going to tell you right now, nobody's beating the Braves. Nobody. I don't care that you can say not having Charlie Morton, not having Max Fried coming back off of injury. Bryce Elder is certainly looking like an elder who needs to go in a retirement home because the young kid is out of gas. I understand all that. You have this lineup. You have this video game style-esque lineup. Nobody's beating you. You will be lucky to lose a game with the MVP and Rod Acuna Jr. and the 8 other dudes who can launch home runs deep out of the ballpark, and this rotation and this bullpen who hasn't been great, but still finds a way to not shoot itself in the foot. So it's not National League. The American League's wide open, in my opinion. I like it. I like Houston. Houston's got pitching problems. I like Baltimore. They're a ragtag story. It's awesome to see just 2 years ago, them having 100 losses to now getting 100 wins and being the team to beat in the American League. You can never count out Tampa. You can never count out the Rays. At some point, they basically are cockroaches and the world has gone nuclear and they're the last thing remaining. I will believe that Kevin Cash will be here when the aliens come to suck us all up, and he will be the last man standing because he finds a way to go ahead and get this team to the playoffs every single year. Toronto is the team to watch for. I'm telling you guys right now, you need to pay attention to the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays, if they win this series over the Minnesota Twins, are going to go on an epic run. I'm calling my shot. I am doing the babe. I'm pointing out into left field. Go ahead and swing big. The Blue Jays are the team that you need to pay attention to. Because from an offensive standpoint, they have sucked this year. It has been an abysmal showcase, and they have the talent. They have the guys. George Springer, at one point, was a multi-talented all-star. Bo Bichette, one of the emerging young shortstops in the game. Vlad Guerrero Jr., he swings it like his daddy. He may weigh 200 pounds more than his daddy, but I'm telling you what, if he does not swing and miss, that ball is going to leave the park. They have other guys that are good role players, guys such as Dalton Varsho, who has had a down year, Alejandro Kirk, who has had a down year, Kevin Biggio, who's a utility player, Matt Chapman, who at one point, honestly, was the best third baseman in baseball. They have the talent offensively. And this reminds me a lot of Philadelphia last year. Philadelphia had stars. Philadelphia went out and they spent money in free agency. They went and they tried to build a roster around Bryce Harper. That way, they would guarantee their postseason success. And they got lucky. They found a way to sneak into that last spot. They found a way to not shoot themselves so far down the foot that they were guaranteed to be a playoff team. And then they just went on this epic run. And pitching started picking up. And the bats came alive and well. And Bryce Harper had the swing of his life. And look at that. He's playing against the Houston Astros. You can say the same formula is there. They found a way to not shoot themselves so far down the spectacle that they were out of the postseason race. They're the number 6 seed in the American League. Not to mention, they also have one side of the ball showing more prominence than the other. The offense last year during the regular season, absolutely awful for Philadelphia. It was a hit and miss. Kyle Schwarber, if the ball was not leaving the park, he was going back to the dugout with the K next to his name. Nick Castellanos, nope. Bryson Stott, nope. Alec Boehm, God no. They did not have the talent offensively. But pitching picked up. And pitching, they put their giant sack on the table and they said, come at me, bro. That's what they did last year. And you could say the exact same formula is there right now for Toronto. They got something, man. I'm telling you. They are headlined by Kevin Gausman. He has been one of the best pitchers in baseball for the last few seasons. If you are not watching his game, let me tell you a little bit about him. He's had over 200 strikeouts for 3 straight years. He has an ERA of 3.16, which most people would say is a little too high. In baseball today, if you're around 3.2, you're pretty damn good. He also has one of the highest strikeout rates at 11.5. Not to mention, he has one of the highest WARs at 3.4. He also has a whip of 1.8, and he has been dealing all year. But now you're seeing the other guys kind of step up. Jose Barrios turned the corner after last season. He had finished with 184 strikeouts. I think, had a record of 11-12, but he had an ERA of 3.65. That might be good enough. You're also seeing Chris Bassett, the old man. He's coming around. The month of September was very promising for him. He'll remember the month of September. Maybe not the 21st night, but he'll remember the month. And then you add in Kikuchi, Ulysses Kikuchi. He's coming on as your 4th guy. So for a 3-game series, you have pitching that currently ranks number 1 in Major League Baseball of playoff teams in ERA. They rank number 2 in strikeouts, and they rank number 3 in opponent's batting average, number 1 also in whip. If you can find a way to beat the mid-level Minnesota Twins, who every single year are basically like the New Orleans Saints, we're here. We're not rebuilding, but we know that we're not building a championship either. You find a way to do that, watch out. I'm telling you, people, because all it takes is one series to get the offense ignited. It happened last year for a team like Philadelphia. They needed that one series. They get the win over the Braves. They then go and they play San Diego. The bats are alive and well, and they give a little bit of a run for Houston. There was a moment here in the great city of Houston where a lot of people thought, okay, we may have a challenge at hand. We know that we're good. We know that we have the pitching. We know that we have the talent galore. We know that we can go toe-to-toe with anybody. And we have a Death Star lineup that basically is pointing the laser down at the city of Endor, or in this point, the city of Philadelphia. And we're about ready to say go. We can do that. But Philly is going to be a tough out. And they were. They absolutely were. They gave everything that they had to Houston. And there were multiple moments where they were dancing on their own en route to potentially hoisting up a commissioner's trophy. They were doing that. Toronto can do the same thing. You need one good series with this lineup, with this amount of talent, with guys like Matt Chapman, with guys like Vlad Guerrero Jr., with Kevin Kiermaier, Brandon Belt, George Springer. You get that version back. You get that version ahead. Guys, you got something. I'm telling you, you do not want to sleep on this team. You don't. Because if you do, it may end up hurting you well beyond belief. And this is a team that is loaded in terms of not just great pitching, but it's got a great bullpen led by Jordan Hicks and Jordan Romano. Romano was one of the better closers down the stretch. You give me 6 quality innings from Kevin Gausman, Chris Bassett, Jose Barrios, and Kikuchi every single night, and then I might get lucky to get Hyun-Jin Ryu also added into the mix. I get that. I get 6 strong. I'm not losing to many games. I truly believe that. This team has offensive talent. This team has exactly what you need going into the playoffs. Quality pitching that can deliver strikes, that can get a lot of swings and misses, and force teams back to the dugout and keep the score close. All I need is my offense to get a little bit of that spark plug. They come alive. Guess what? I'm going far. I am going far. And in the American League this year, in my opinion, it's wide open. It truly is. You have questions with every single team in this division. I mean, in this league. Every single one. Whether it be the youth of Baltimore, whether it be the inconsistencies of Houston, the pitching just in general of Texas. Every team has a fault here. And at the end of the day, you need just one moment where everything comes together. Like it happened for Atlanta, like it happened for Philly, like it happened for Washington back in 2019. You get that, you have a shot. I am telling you, if you see this pitching staff deliver against the Minnesota Twins, do not sleep on the Blue Jays to be the dark horse to hoist up the Commissioner's Trophy late October. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching that video. Don't hit the X button yet. Make sure you hit subscribe to keep up with all of our daily content found on Just Saying It and anything else that we post on this channel. Bye.